I'm Vince G. of Swarner Productions, and this is Behind the Scenes Podcast, where we sit down with people behind the work and the stories. Today's guest is Richard Duryea, cinematographer and storyteller who got hooked on sci-fi early, saved up for his first camera, and started making films back at home in Spokane, Washington. He took that obsession to CSUN with a double major in cinematography and creative writing, and today he's here in Fort Worth working on his own projects while staying active in production. Richard, welcome to the show.
Hey, thank you for having me.
Start at the very beginning. You said you got sparked by Star Trek.
Yep.
Like, what about Star Trek exactly?
Oh, man. So my dad is a huge Star Trek nerd. We had the first 9 films on VHS. And but the first one we had was the 4th one, which is The Voyage Home. That's the one with time travel and the whales. And I hadn't the slightest clue what was going on in that film because, you know, there are 3 films and a TV show prior to that. But I still loved that film. And it's my, like, comfort go-to film for me anyways. But I still loved the world. I loved the characters. And it's just like, you know, science fiction is just absolutely fantastic. And then at the end, it's just like, what are all these names over the black at the end? It's like, oh, these are the people that made it. I could be one of those people someday. So,
How old were you at that time?
oof, 5,
Dang.
6, something like that. At least that's when I think that's when I first saw The Voyage Home.
Mhm.
And then, but I wasn't exactly sure about, you know, filmmaking as a career at that point. It wasn't until probably 4th grade, I'd say, when I went, I'm going to be a filmmaker.
Okay, so what about 4th grade happened?
I'm not sure exactly what happened. I think it was probably a career day at some point. It was, I think I first wanted to be like an archaeologist or something, but I was not doing well in history. But I was doing well in terms of, like, you know, writing and making up stories and that kind of thing. So I'm like, okay, I think I could do something like that.
So you knew that you wanted to do science fiction right away, or you wanted to do what?
Science fiction's always been like my favorite genre,
Mhm.
but I love films of any genre. So the one that I'm working on now is technically a sci-fi, but the sci-fi elements in it are very, very small. But I do like, you know, movies that make you think a little bit, ones that have an emotional impact of some kind. So as long as the film will hold my attention, I'm going to love it.
Okay, I'm gonna throw you a curveball. What movies, your top 3 movies?
Oh, you know, I actually have a list on my phone.
Of course you would.
I started making a list of my top 100 favorite films, and I pretty easily got to 50. Let me pull it up. Let's see, my top 100 films. Top 100 films in no particular order: The Prince of Egypt, 2001: A Space Odyssey, The Muppet Movie, the one from the 70s, Who Framed Roger Rabbit, E.T. the Extraterrestrial, Millennium Actress, 12 Angry Men, Ghostbusters, Jurassic Park, and Jaws. Those are the top 10 right now.
If you had to pick one to be your ultimate favorite film,
That's The Prince of Egypt.
why is I haven't seen that one yet.
So that's the 98 musical adaptation of the story of Exodus.
You like musicals.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I've always how can you like musicals? I'm not trying to hate on it. I don't like musicals.
That's fair. I can understand why people don't like musicals, but basically a song in a musical, in a good one anyways, they will get it. Let's say it's just another way of doing a montage.
Okay.
So it's like how to tell a huge story in a very short amount of time.
Okay.
It's when a character is going from this type of person to this type of person, instead of in a movie, it might be 12 years later, then they became a revolutionary. In a musical, you can do that in one song.
Okay. I've never thought about it like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
It's a different narrative tool.
Gotcha. But yeah, why Prince of Egypt? Like, why is that your all-time favorite?
So in my opinion, a good film will make you feel an emotion of some kind. A better film will make you feel a range of emotions. The best films will make you feel a range of emotions upon multiple viewings. The Prince of Egypt was one of a very select few films that can do that for me.
Okay.
Yeah. I laugh when I laugh every time. I cry where I cry every time. And yeah, it's one of those, like, when I was a kid, I very much underappreciated it.
Mhm.
And then when I was in college, I started revisiting a lot of the films from my childhood.
Mm.
And then some of them are just absolute garbage, and some of them
Yeah,
some of them like, oh my goodness, I had no idea what I was watching.
that's
The
funny.
Prince of Egypt is one of them.
Yeah. What's kind of funny is that my sister and I, we made this pact
Mhm.
that we're gonna go back and watch all the movies that scared us.
Mm.
And so we started with her movies, but we never made it to mine. But yeah, some of those movies for her were like Edward Scissorhands.
Okay.
What was it? Have you ever heard of Cat's Eye?
I've heard of it. I haven't seen it.
Yeah, it's an old,
It's a
old
Stephen
movie.
King film.
Is it? I
I
don't
think
even know
so.
that. It's been so long since I've seen it. But the one that was scared me the most was The Wizard of Oz: Return to Oz.
Oh, Return to Oz. I can
Oh,
understand
that
that.
one scares me so much. I have not worked up the courage to even start that one.
I didn't see that one until college.
Dang.
And the original I've seen it 1,000 times, but for some reason I don't think it was available at my local Blockbuster.
Hmm.
But yeah, I did see it when I was in college, and I'm like, that's a very creative, bold, different film.
Yeah, completely different.
Yeah.
Like, just the Wheelers are scary. I'm trying to remember what else was in it. But the Wheelers for sure scared me the most.
Mhm.
The other movie that scared me was the one with Arnold Schwarzenegger, Demolition Man, I think it's called.
Demolition.
No, Total Recall.
Total Recall. Okay.
Yeah,
So Stallone was in Demolition Man.
yeah, that's right. Did you ever watch Total Recall?
I did, yeah. I think I saw it on like the Sci-Fi Channel or something. I was in high school, I think, when I got around to seeing that one. Of course, it's like the TV censored
Yeah.
version, so you're watching it in pieces.
Yeah. The two parts that I remember scaring me the most are whenever it was like a woman, I think it was. He was in space and her head explodes, or his head
Yeah, that's
explodes.
at the end of the film.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and that scared me the most. And Johnny Five, the cab.
yeah.
Was it Johnny Five? I think
Well,
it was Johnny Five.
Johnny Five's from Short Circuit.
Yeah. Okay. So maybe it was cab. I don't remember. I
There is
swear
a
his
cab
name-
driver, I believe, played by Robert Picardo. I want to say.
Mhm.
Anyways, but yeah, there is a cab driver who's a robot. He's just like human-ish
yeah.
from like the waist up, and he like rips him out or whatever.
Yeah, that part just always scared me. I don't know what. Like, just think about it, I get goosebumps right now.
Mhm. I will say, on one of my films, Who Framed Roger Rabbit,
Mhm.
I still have nightmares about steamrollers.
Okay, I've seen
'Cause
Roger
that was-
Rabbit, but I don't remember.
That's how Judge Doom dies towards
Mhm.
the end, because he gets like the glue, he gets hand stuck in glue, and then it like ends up getting attached to the steamroller, and then Christopher Lloyd just gets run over by the steamroller, and he's screaming the whole time.
Dang.
And I'm like, oh man.
Sounds like a terrible way to go.
Yeah, but that's when it's revealed. Spoiler alert for a movie that came out in '88.
Nah, no kidding. I haven't watched it fully, apparently, but yeah.
But yeah, that's when it's revealed of his true form at that point. So
Okay. So, would you say you like movies from back in the day or more nowadays?
I like him from every era.
Mhm.
As long as it can hold my attention, I'm gonna love it.
Okay.
So there are films from the last couple years that I really like, and then early 2000s. Like my DVD collection spans the whole gambit. I think I got like one or two silent films in my collection, and then I think the most recent one is probably from last year.
Dang, you have silent films?
Oh yeah, one or two.
That's crazy. You're the only person I know that still has DVDs.
Oh really?
Yeah. Dang. So going back to fourth grade, right?
Mhm.
You knew that you wanted to make films. When did you get your first camera?
I started saving up my money in fourth grade, and of course, not having a job and just a weekly allowance, that takes a little bit.
Yeah.
I eventually got one. It was in between 6th and 7th grade
Mhm.
during that summer. So got this Canon Handycam, which used mini DV tapes.
I think I remember those.
Yeah, and so this would have been in 2002, and so it had like a 32x digital zoom on it, which I didn't know what that meant.
Mhm.
But apparently it means it's awful.
Man.
Because I'm like, oh, 32x, this is great. And then I try it, I'm like, it just makes pixels that big.
Yeah. But there was the digital zoom, not the optical zoom.
Correct. It was a
Yeah.
digital zoom, not an optical one. But that's still how that's where I started.
Mhm.
Me and my brother attempted to make stop motion videos with our Legos.
I've tried one stop motion video. Never again.
Well, the thing is, with iMovie at that point in time,
Mm-hmm.
you couldn't have any single clip shorter than 1 second.
Mm.
So, you know, how you're supposed to do 24 or even in stop motion, you're supposed to have like at least 12 frames a second.
Hmm.
No, it was
Dang.
one. So it was,
So super, super slow then.
it was, so, but, you know, I still had fun, you know, with my brother. We did, I think the first film we did was called Homicide, which was basically a parody of CSI.
Dang.
But it was like the main character was like a news reporter trying like going around the house is like, oh, here's where all the dead bodies are. You can't see it. It's invisible because we only have two people in this whole movie.
Dang. Did y'all act in a lot of movies together?
Yeah. So my brother and I, you know, we did a handful of those movies, and then but probably the first time I was on a real set was I was an extra in a film called Hangman's Curse.
Sounds so familiar.
It's based off of a book by Frank Peretti by the same name. It was
Okay.
shot at Rogers High School in Spokane, Washington. Um, and Ralph Winter was the producer of it.
Hmm.
But anyways, yeah, I was an extra in it. I think there was a posting at my sister's high school at the time, and they were looking for extras. I'm like, I want to be in movies. And so meanwhile, there's 12-year-old me playing a high schooler. But because
That's funny.
I grew like 8 inches that year.
Hmm.
So they're like, oh yeah, he could be a freshman or something like that. I actually got quite a bit of screen time for an extra.
And that's crazy because like nowadays you have like 20, 30-year-olds playing like 16-year-olds.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I was a 12-year-old playing a 16-year-old.
That's funny. So like what was it like being on set at that time right there? Because you're 12 years old. This is your first time being in a movie. Like take me back to that experience.
I loved every single second of it. And of course, like I knew going into it that there were going to be 12-hour days.
Hmm.
We weren't getting paid for it. I think maybe like $50 for like the week or something.
Dang.
But the way that they, I guess, kind of like offset it or whatever
Hmm.
is they had raffles for all
Okay.
sorts of stuff. And they had a lot of stuff that like the original Xbox and PlayStation 2 and DVD players is what they were raffling off.
Hmm.
I didn't win anything. I was like one digit off from getting an original Xbox. And that's like right when it came out too. So I guess they couldn't afford to give everybody full day rates for a week, but they could give away quite a few Xboxes.
That's so stupid. I'd rather have the money instead.
Well, you know, I was 12 and didn't know any better.
What do you remember anything about like what equipment they used on set?
That I wouldn't know. That would have been the first time I saw any of that. And so I'd be like, oh, that's a camera. Or, hey, that's a light. That's a light stand.
Have you gone back and watched this movie?
Oh,
Is it-
many times. I did show my now wife that film pretty early when we started dating. And that's when I learned that she has arachnophobia. So, because the film does feature spiders.
Yeah. You gotta send me the link to that. I want to check it out.
Okay, yeah.
What other movies have you been in?
Ooh, let's see. So, you know, that was the first one, and then the films being made in Spokane is few and far between. So then I went to college, which is California State University Northridge, or CSUN for short. There was the first semester that I was there, Bring It On 5 was shooting on campus. Yeah, the fifth one. So
They have 5 of those already?
at least.
Dang.
And then let's see, and then you know, just doing whatever short films I can in college. That's also when like web series stuff started really picking up,
Mhm.
and there was one big YouTuber that I did.
What year was this?
Well, I started college in 2008,
Okay.
so yeah, because YouTube's only a couple of years old at this
Yeah.
point. But I did one for Olga K. She's a Russian juggler, but she's got this blog thing. But anyways, they were shooting a short film for her at the. It was a sound stage it was a rental house, like a professional grade lens rental house that we were shooting her short thing on. But they spent a lot of time and money on that. They had one of the actors from Heroes in it,
Dang.
if you remember that show.
I've heard of it, but I've never watched it.
X-Men, the TV show. That's the best way to describe it.
Gotcha. So it sounds like you've done a lot of acting.
I've done a fair amount of acting. Yeah, when I was in high school, I did a lot of stage productions.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't have much of a film program in high school, but I'm like, I know I want to direct. So what steps can I do to get better at that? So I'm like, we got a pretty active theater program. So I eventually got the department award in high school for stage acting. And best performance, in my opinion, was we did an adaptation of 12 Angry Men,
Mm-hmm.
which was probably the best thing we did. And then we did do a musical, which was Kiss Me Kate. The first one I did was Our Town, and then Noise is Off. That's a comedy. So yeah, did like 2 or 3 productions a year, something like that. Yeah.
Okay, so tell me about, you have the camera, you bought the camera. Tell me about the first paid project that you had.
Paid project. That was probably doing some freelance grip or some freelance PA work. Yeah, I was a freelance PA work, and that was for a company that was it was an instructional video for how to use a kayak for some company. I don't remember what, but they like forgot to pay me. And then I'm like, guys, it says in this email.
That's always the worst when you got to hunt them down for the littlest amount
That's
too.
one thing that I've learned. The more I get paid for a job, the easier it is.
100%.
So
Yeah, I remember this one. I do graphic design as well, right?
Mhm.
So I did this one logo one time, and I went cheaper than I normally would, right? And this lady just gave me the biggest hassle ever. Like, it's not this, it's not that. Can you make it like this? Can you make it like that? So by the time we started with my version versus her version, completely different. But
Yep.
at the end of it, I'm like, you know what? Just keep the money. I don't even want to do this anymore. It's
Yeah.
just, you're too much of a hassle. When there's other people that pay me like $1,500 and like, here's the money and we're done. Yeah, that's just something we can all relate to.
Yeah, one of the first things I did out of college was I was an intern for Conan O'Brien on the Warner.
Dang.
Yeah, I was an intern for him on the Warner Brothers lot. But maybe about a quarter of his staff at that time was made up of unpaid interns, and that's a full-time job. So you're in the door at 9, rehearsals at 2, shoot at 4, out the door by 6. But we were on stage 13, I believe, at the Warner Brothers lot. Ellen was on stage 4. So yeah, this would have been 2013. Yeah, 2013.
That's
So yeah,
crazy.
I was only there for a short amount of time. Because I was just there during the winter term. Normally, it's broken up into fall interns and spring interns, and then the winter ones are just there to fill in the gaps in between the 2 terms. So some of those interns are there for 5-6 months, something like that.
So tell me about that experience. Like, that sounds crazy to me.
It was at the time I thought it was fantastic, and then later on I went, hang on, this doesn't quite fit the definition of intern. But I will say Andy Richter is probably one of the nicest people I've ever met. He's the right-hand man on the show.
What about Ellen?
I didn't meet Ellen, but let's see who else. Jimmy Vivino, the band leader, also super nice, super chill dude.
How did you get linked up with that position?
That was through college. It was there's getting an internship is actually a graduation requirement, and so there's a one guy at the school who specializes in finding all the internships and posting them. So I just went. I'm just like, okay, what do we got? What do we got? It's like, oh, here's one. Let's send out an application. And it's like, oh, and they actually responded to my great surprise. So,
Was that your first and only internship, or did you do multiple?
I did do a couple internships. One of them was at another company called Bishop Lyons Entertainment, and they did scissor reels for reality shows. And so I was basically an assistant editor for them, and I went a couple days a week. It's going there, and the only reason why I got that one was because I had a MacBook at the time, because they were a strictly PC-based group, and they got a project from a client on a hard drive that was Mac encoded. So no one at their office could read it. And then one of my other friends who was an intern there said, "I know a guy with a Mac."
Yeah, so all of this just because you had a Mac?
Only because I had a Mac.
That is crazy.
So. Knowing the right people at the right time and having the right equipment. So,
yeah, I personally hate Macs. I don't know how you do it. I don't know how everyone does it, but I do not like Macs. They're just so different from PC that
I use one at my day job right now. So I can understand I can
You,
understand it.
you hate PC, don't you?
I'm indifferent.
Hmm.
So, it's just, like some people ask me, like, what camera do you prefer to shoot on? Like,
Hmm.
it doesn't matter to me. That ISO is ISO, f-stop is f-stop. I just need to know where the buttons are. So,
Hmm. Exactly. Okay, so talking about cameras, what camera do you shoot on now?
right now I have my Blackmagic 6K, which we are looking at from over there. And so yeah, that's the one that I currently have. I've had a couple small Canon Handycams, that kind of thing. Nothing too fancy,
Hmm.
but yeah, it's just what I can afford. And I started editing on DaVinci Resolve,
Okay.
and so I went, well, I need to get a new camera. And it's like, oh, let's just get the camera that these guys already make. So
Okay, so that was just the whole reason. Let me just get their camera.
budget is the other reason. So I was able to get it on eBay for a pretty great price.
Yeah, you have the 6K, correct?
Yeah,
Yeah.
6K base model. Yeah.
Yeah. So that camera is 6K base. This one and this one are pros. But yeah, I love them personally.
Mhm.
But they are just a pain to take anywhere, set up, and use. But I love the quality of them.
Sure.
What camera would you get besides Blackmagic?
I've done a lot of projects on Reds, but now that Red's been bought up by Nikon, who knows what's gonna change in those designs.
Hmm.
I've done quite a few projects on like the Red Scarlet, if you remember that one. That's one of their older ones
I've
now.
heard it, but I've never used it.
Yeah, it's sort of it's basically a couple steps down from the Epic.
Okay.
So the Epic wasn't it was a great camera on
Mhm.
its own. Um, I would love to get an Airy. So
Yeah, who wouldn't?
who wouldn't?
Yeah,
let
who
me
wouldn't?
just sell a kidney first.
One day, right?
Yeah. But
Well, let me ask you this: what do you love about the Blackmagic so much?
um, I do like its interface. I
Mhm.
do like it's relatively straightforward. The Sony ones can get a little complicated with their menu system, but so I do like the UI for the Blackmagics.
For me, Blackmagic, the menus are amazing.
Mhm.
So easy to use because I also have a Sony in that box right there, and it's just you have to go through all these different menus just to change like one thing. I
Yeah.
hate it.
Yeah.
So
I
if
also like the size of them. Sony's, they're fantastic because I shot weddings and bar mitzvahs for 5 years,
Mhm.
and we were using like the Sony A7 III line.
Mhm.
Great at low lighting stuff, teeny tiny camera,
Yep.
and so of course I got my big gorilla hands trying to navigate all this stuff while a bunch of teenagers are bumping into me. So
Yeah.
that can be a little frustrating. So
That's funny because like I have like all these Blackmagics, right? But I'm trying to go to Sony just because it's more compact.
Mm.
Like my favorite camera out of all the cameras I own is that one right there, little OP3, the Osmo Pocket 3.
Well, there you go.
Just because it's easy to use, you can take it anywhere, super compact. If I had to pick one camera, that would be it.
Okay.
But
Yeah, but yeah, I do like the Sonys for their low light capabilities.
Mhm.
That they have in the bag. In
yeah,
my opinion.
without a doubt.
Mm.
Like I tried to do something low light with the Blackmagics, and
Yeah, that's the main problem with the Blackmagic is you can't go too high in the ISO before it starts getting way too grainy.
Mhm.
That's the main problem with
yeah,
them.
we were filming a baseball game actually,
Mm.
and the lights hadn't cut on yet, and it was super dark, and it's like you can't see nothing on this.
I've been in that situation before. Yeah, and
Mhm.
you got to crank it all the way up, and it's just nothing but noise. So,
Exactly. So you said you film bar mitzvahs.
yep.
I haven't been to one yet. How do they go? Like, what are you filming exactly?
So a bar mitzvah is basically a sweet 16 or a quinceañera, but for the Jewish people.
Okay.
So that's the so it's basically first half of the day is the actual bar mitzvah ceremony, and that can be anywhere between 1 to 3 hours, depending on how orthodox they are.
Mhm.
Then you do the cocktail hour. It's kind of like a wedding.
Mhm.
So then you do like a cocktail hour. That could be at the same location, like at the temple, or it could be somewhere else. And then you do the actual party itself, which could be anywhere between 4 or 5 hours or so.
Okay.
And then it's much like a wedding reception. It's all the kids come in, they do there's the DJ doing all the bouncing and jumping and all that kind of stuff. I would say the company that I was with, we did the bar mitzvah for Adam Levine's cousin. They spent $2 million on this party. So
How did that look? Please tell me you still have some of that footage.
it looks great. I don't have the footage because I don't own it.
Ah, that's crazy though. Like I can't even imagine like
So you remember the show My Super Sweet 16 on MTV?
Yeah, I remember it, but I've never watched it.
Okay, it was originally pitched as Super Mitzvahs.
Okay.
So and then I guess the MTV people went, "Oh, we need to make this a little more generic for all Americans."
Hmm.
So they,
Yeah, I think not mistaken, was it Diddy's son? I think he had one on there, and he went like all out on it for his son's 16. I'd have
yeah,
to look that back up,
yeah.
but that's what I remember from that. How did you get into doing bar mitzvah?
It was just I responded to a Craigslist ad because I was doing the those 50, 75, $100 jobs,
Hmm.
and I'm just like I need something more consistent,
Hmm.
and so I just responded to an ad saying, "Hey, we need someone to come do this on a somewhat regular basis." Great, and so I was at that company for about 5 years or so. So
Okay, so excuse me. So I know that you used to travel all over the U.S. doing those dance videos.
mhm.
Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
So yeah, when I first moved out here to Texas, I got a full time job at a clothing brand company. I was in-house videographer and editor for them. But then things didn't pan out for market change, whatever. So anyways, and so I'm starting doing some more freelance stuff again. But one of the ads I responded to was for a company called Dancebug.
Hmm.
And so basically it was, they sent me all this gear, about $10,000 worth of gear.
Hmm.
And so basically it would be travel on Thursday to somewhere here in the Midwest, let's say to Kansas, and then get in a rental car and then go and set up at the venue and then film Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, wrap up Sunday evening and then travel home on that Monday. So Tuesday, Wednesday would basically be my weekend. And then I did that for about 5 months.
Hmm. But why so little?
Hmm?
Like, why only 5 months?
That's just when the season is.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
gotcha.
that's when the dance competition season is. So, set up all the microphones and stuff. And then I think the nationals are like in the summer, and they just don't need as many people
Hmm.
for those.
What did you like about doing those?
The traveling part I did very much enjoy. The hotels were nice, so that was pretty cool. So.
Can you tell me anything about like the dancing itself? Like, was it like classical? Was it?
It depended on on like the school because they're anywhere between kindergartner through high school.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So you usually start off with like the kindergartners and they're just doing their you know uh, lullaby kind of music and stuff,
Mhm.
but then I'd say most of it was contemporary.
Mhm.
But there were a few schools that like specialize in ballet and jazz and some hip
Okay.
hop in there as well.
Okay. See, I always wondered like what it was. I realize now it's just the name of the company is Dance
Mm,
Bug, and they just go and film different dance stuff.
correct. Yeah,
Okay.
we're a
See,
contractor, so
gotcha. Yeah, in my head, like Dance Bug was like the show,
no.
and they're going like traveling everywhere to do all that. Okay, that makes sense now. Did you enjoy doing that job? Like, would you do it again?
Overall, I enjoy doing the job. I'm at a nice, consistent job right now, so I don't have to go do it this next year. I do know one of my good friends, Frank. I got him into doing it last season, and he'll be doing it again this season.
Okay. So your job now, what do you do now?
So currently, I work at a law firm. I do internal videos for them, and that's my nice Monday through Friday job. It's got a
Yeah.
decent salary and everything.
People like I've known a lot of people that have trouble finding a job as a video person.
Yeah. So, I like when I was in Oregon, I was searching across the whole country.
Hmm.
Like I just like I don't care if it's in Los Angeles. I don't care if and then I almost got one in Idaho. I almost got one in Atlanta. I almost got one in North Carolina. And I'm like, I just need it to be in the lower in the anywhere in the 50 states.
Hmm.
And I'm like, look, God willing, will take me to where I want. But yeah, I sent out hundreds of applications, hundreds of them. And uh, let's see, I think the one that they really liked me, it was for to be a videographer for a Native American tribe up in way
Wow.
northern Wisconsin, like a stone's throw from Canada. So
Hmm.
so I'm like, okay, if that's where we're supposed to go, that's where we're gonna go.
How did you end up in Texas exactly? Because you've been all over by the
Yeah.
sounds of it.
Yeah, so I moved to Texas because of the baby clothing brand company, and I
Okay.
was at that job for 8.5 months
Hmm.
before I was laid off.
Dang. So where did you move from?
Oregon,
Oregon.
yep.
So
So,
so you moved from Oregon to Texas, got laid off in 8 months. Like,
mhm.
How mad were you?
I was a little disappointed, I was a little heartbroken, but the industry is made up of broken dreams. So,
Mhm.
so it's like, I was a little upset for about, let myself be sad for a week or two. And then I'm
Mhm.
like, okay, we gotta pick ourselves up, dust ourselves off, and keep going. Cause, I was disappointed when I had to leave Los Angeles because of COVID. I
Mhm.
don't know if you've heard of COVID. It was this little thing that happened back in
I may
2020.
have heard it. I think I ended up in a hospital at one point, but yeah.
But yeah, but I was disappointed that I had to leave LA. I thought myself as a failure. I'm like, maybe if I tried a little bit harder or something. But back then,
Mhm.
it was I was calling up all my contacts saying like, hey, when are we going to be back up doing these regular things? And they said optimistically July. And I went, I'm going to be bankrupt by then. So
Mhm.
I packed everything up, sold what I could, and moved in with my sister in rural Oregon. And for a couple years, I was taking on manufacturing jobs.
Dang.
So I was first company I was at was called Oregon Freeze Dry.
Mhm.
So just doing repetitive manual labor, making eggs for MREs, and then I was at ended up getting a wrist injury, and then ended up working at a Safeway for 4 months, and that wasn't panning out, 'cause, Oregon has a very low minimum wage and very high state income taxes, so
Mhm.
and plus, when you're working at a grocery store, they also have the mandatory, union wages.
Mhm.
So, like, they're taking a 25 bucks out of my paycheck every week, regardless of how many hours I'm working,
That's
so that was like I think one time, like, my paycheck was like 200 bucks for a week.
for a week?
Yeah. So, I'm like, "Okay, we need to find something else." Ended up finding a job at a sawmill, did that for a year,
Mhm.
and that was a 45-minute commute.
Hold up. You still have all your fingers?
Oh, yeah, thankfully. There was one guy who did lose one while I was there, and that was a dangerous job. It's a 45-minute commute each way going through, the things, and then also you didn't know, because of where they are in, like, the production line of where wood is,
Mhm.
uh, I everyone's on call for Saturday, and so and every now and then, they'll ask for volunteers, but if they don't get them, 'em, you'll be told, "Hey, you're coming in tomorrow." And I'm like, great." So, and then let's see, there was, the machine that I like to call the rip you in half machine, because you had to put on this belt thing, and, I think, like, technically it's supposed to prevent you from falling in, but I think it's more of, if you get ripped in half, they can identify the legs at least.
Oh, man.
And then there was like this big cleaning day where I was voluntold to go inside of a chimney, and I had to scrape the ash from the inside of this chimney, and then a fire ended up getting started below me, and so I ended up getting choked out a little bit by some of the smoke in there. So film can be a little tough sometimes, but I'd much rather be here than back
I
there.
was just thinking that, like, just going from those to this, like, I
I
can't
I
even
would say
imagine.
I would say, that job did help pay for my wedding. So, there you go. And, I did end up meeting my wife in Oregon during lockdown.
Okay.
So, count your blessings where they are, and it's been fantastic ever since. We just hit our 3rd anniversary.
Oh, wow.
Thank
Congratulations.
you.
So she came with you to Texas then.
Yep.
Um, how does she feel about Texas? Or how do y'all both feel about Texas?
I'm great, being back in a big city. It's
Mhm.
definitely a different vibe than Los Angeles. I will say the people are a lot nicer out
Mhm.
here. Um, and, there's no film industry in Oregon, none.
Okay.
So, there's a little bit of one in Portland, but they still have to compete with Seattle,
Mhm.
and, there's not much there. And, and I'm like, "Well, I found a small film community here in DFW," but, I think but also we had signed a year lease to our apartment,
Yeah.
so so, like, we could have gone back, to Oregon, and, my sister would have taken us back, it would have been fine,
Mhm.
but it was like it was only a few months before I was able to find, my next thing.
So you're able to just pack up and go wherever. Like you're not held down by any place or anything like that.
Not particularly.
That's crazy. I'm too scared. The furthest I've ever moved away from family is Dallas,
Mhm.
and that's only like an hour from here.
That's down the road. Well, I grew up in Spokane, Washington, then I moved down to Los Angeles.
Hmm.
So, that's 2 states away and 2,000 miles.
Hmm.
So,
Like, how do you just get up and go? Like, how do you not like feel scared about it?
uh, hmm, that's a good one. Um, I guess just trusting in God that things are gonna work out. It's, and it's, it's like, this opportunity has opened up. I don't know everything that's gonna happen, and life's an adventure. So let's make this adventure. Let's make this adventure happen. So, and you're not gonna grow if you don't do anything that doesn't scare you.
Exactly. Speaking of doing something that could scare you, tell me about your new short film.
Ooh, so my new short film. So I started writing this screenplay about a year ago. It's called American Methuselah,
Hmm.
and I and so I wrote about like 82 pages of it so far, and so I am shooting the first 10 pages of it this next coming Saturday. And so this one, it's a drama with a little bit of sci-fi element, and uh, and so I just sent it off to the some of the local filmmakers. Is a group called the DFA, or Dallas Filmmaker Alliance,
Hmm.
and so met a bunch of people there and said, "Hey, here's my new thing. What do you guys think?" And then a lot of people have said, "This is fantastic. Let's do it." And so yeah, we've got just about everything in place. So yeah, now it's just getting some finalized rehearsals and dotting the i's and crossing the t's, and hopefully everybody comes with their lines memorized.
No kidding. If not, just shoot it again and again and again and
Yeah, yeah.
again.
Well, we only got one day at the location, so
Oh, where are you filming it at?
we're going to be doing it at the Maker Space over in Carrollton.
I've heard of it. I heard it's very, very nice.
It's a neat place. Basically, it's kind of like a rec center.
Mhm.
So they've got classes for all sorts of things. So everything from pottery, painting,
Oh, wow.
robotics, like even like video game design or something, and then a little bit of film stuff in there. And
Mhm.
so one of my other associates, he's a regular member there. You basically just need to have somebody who's a member there, and so
Mhm.
he reserved the room for us.
Okay.
So yeah.
What was your inspiration for the short film?
So this particular film, it was inspired by a couple different films,
Mhm.
but it's about an immortal, and so I'm like, well, there was another film called The Man from Earth that I saw a long
Mhm.
time ago. If you've seen it,
I haven't seen that one.
it's a low budget film, but absolutely fantastic. It's all about ideas because the whole movie just takes place in a cabin
Mhm.
and it's just people talking, but it's still fantastic just talking about ideas. But anyways, so I just went. I like the idea of a film about an immortal, but I think it would be. But every film about an immortal, the first half of it is always about just trying to disprove the person. I'm like,
Mhm.
well, let's just skip that part, and it's like, okay, what situation could a person be in where if someone says that they're an immortal, where you go, well, that makes sense.
Mhm. Yeah.
And so basically, I have a guy who's been in prison for 150 years. And so, uh, like all the characters are like even anybody who would say, "Oh, that's garbage, it's baloney." And then the warden, the first person you meet is like the warden. And he's like,
Mhm.
"I've been here for 40 years. He hasn't aged a day."
Mhm.
so,
Dang.
so yeah, and so it'll be shot like a documentary, interviewing all these different characters
Mhm.
on what the world should do with this guy.
Sounds very interesting. I got to
Yeah.
check it out.
Oh, thank you.
But when are you expecting it to be done?
Hopefully, so we're shooting this one day, and then I estimate maybe about, let's say, a month of post. Yeah.
So you're filming everything in one day?
Yep.
Is that normal for a short film? I don't know.
So when it comes to short films and you got a shoestring budget, you do with what you can.
Gotcha.
So, um, and so considering that the whole thing is pretty much just talking head dialogue, and the
Mhm.
rest of it is like B-roll or stock footage or
Mhm.
something like that. But yeah, I've got it all planned out. It should be just one day.
Are you planning on using any AI in it?
I am. So I'm using AI to generate the backgrounds.
Mhm.
So I'm not replacing any actors, except there's like a few like crowd scenes for which in my opinion is not any different from doing like a crowd sim
Hmm.
or something like that. But just to help flesh out the world a little bit more.
Yeah.
So, when it's like, okay, I need a crowd scene, what are the methods to do it? Option A is hire a whole bunch of people to go shoot that in the street somewhere. Okay, well,
Hmm.
that's not exactly feasible right now. Option 2 is to use stock footage, which can and cannot work depending on a number of things. Option 3 is getting some VFX guy to do it, which again can and cannot be depending on what tools we have available. And the new option is using AI. And so it's the film industry is always about utilizing the new tools, and just it's a new tool in the toolbox. So just let's see what this new tool can do.
I agree. What AI are you leaning toward for the movie?
So right now, I've got a subscription to Envato Elements,
Okay.
which is a stock footage website,
Yeah.
and then they've got a built-in AI tool.
I haven't used it yet. I have Envato. I haven't used the built-in stock footage.
Mhm.
I'm gonna have to try that today.
Yeah, it's got some neat functions on it. It's like one of them is like, here's an image of this office location that you're thinking is like, what changes do you want to move? I'm like, can you move the camera like more this way?
Hmm.
And it'll do it. So it's not the most precise thing in the world, which,
Yeah.
of course, the,
Yeah.
the tools are still being developed, but I'm sure, but so far I've been pretty happy with it.
You're DaVinci, correct?
Yes.
Do you have an Adobe subscription at all?
Not at the moment, no.
They have Firefly, Adobe Firefly,
Mhm.
which you can create like, AI stuff out of that too. That might be one to look into. I don't know much about it. I've only used it like one time for like one quick image. I can't really say.
Mhm.
There's also Sora, but I don't know if you can get rid of that watermark.
I do have another subscription to another AI platform, and Sora is like one of the tools that's in it, and it's all right. It does the trick, but it's still kind of on the low resolution kind of side of things. So you
Yeah.
got to use another tool to then upres it.
Runway ML is another one, I believe.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with that one.
I know back in the day before like all the AI was really coming out and you had green screen, but you had a terrible computer, it could green screen, it could rotoscope the image for you,
Oh,
all
really?
online based. It's kind of like a way of competing with CapCut
Mhm.
whenever that was like real big with the background removal and stuff.
Yep.
But I believe that they're going more into AI now. I gotta look back into that too.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, with Disney investing $1 billion into AI, it's not something that can be ignored anymore. But
Hmm.
yeah, like when I was in film school, I was there from 2008 to 2013. The first Red movie came out in the middle of that.
Hmm.
And all of my film professors at the time were utterly convinced that digital cameras were not going to last because they saw one film that was a period piece
Hmm.
that said is like, oh, it doesn't look like a period film at all because of like the grain or whatever. And then as soon as I graduate, I'm leaving with the same opinion that the professors do. Like, oh
Hmm.
yeah, digital cameras are not going to last. And then Ari donated a bunch of money to the school, and then their opinion changed pretty
Oh,
quick.
man.
So.
So you're not against AI at all? Like
Oh, no.
you're not scared that it's gonna take your job or anything like that?
Well, it's the same with any industry. You either adapt or you go away.
Hmm.
So this is not the greatest analogy, but one thing that I've been thinking of is like, what were the whale oil industry people thinking when ground oil was discovered?
Okay.
Because whale oil used to be the biggest industry in New England.
Hmm.
People were specialized in going out and hunting whales for months on end to get, just so that people could light their houses. And it was a huge, expensive, it was the biggest industry at the time.
Hmm.
And then when ground oil was discovered, whale oil disappeared within 5 years. So, and so I'm pretty darn sure that there were some people saying, oh, whale oil's better than ground oil because XYZ.
Hmm.
But what really matters at the end of the day are the audience and ROI.
Hmm.
So if the audience doesn't care and the ROI is good enough, that's where the industry is going to go. And that's where any industry is going to go.
Have you seen the AI short film? I saw it on Instagram.
Mhm.
I'm trying to remember what it was about. Trees or something like that.
Oh, I heard something about that. Something about like little forest creatures or something.
Something. I just saw it like in passing, and I actually watched the whole thing. I don't remember what it was about. I just remember trees, and it was supposed to be the first fully AI, I guess, short film,
Hmm.
but very, very well done.
Hmm.
I have to try and find it and send it to you.
Yeah, yeah. I think it might have been a trailer because I believe it's supposed to like come out
Yeah,
in
yeah, you're right.
theaters
Yeah, it
for
was a
some time.
trailer.
Yeah, and then I saw there's another guy on Facebook right now. He's making a movie about Moses
Mhm.
called Born of Water and Fire, and that's entirely made with AI. And it's I'll send you the trailer for that. And he already has distribution lined up for it. So he's releasing that on February 1st, and he already has distribution lined up.
Does he have like a film background or any of that?
I know he has a doctorate. I know that much. So
This is crazy that, like, thinking about it, kids in the future are going to be able to make full feature films with AI.
Mhm.
No film experience needed at all.
Well, that's kind of how the holograph, going back to Star Trek, that's
Mhm.
exactly how the holodeck works.
Okay, you got to educate me. I'm a Star Wars.
Okay.
Yeah.
So every ship in Starfleet comes with a holodeck,
Mhm.
which is just a big room, kind of like this,
Mhm.
where you just walk in and you say, "Computer, show me a Disneyland in 1965,"
Mhm.
and boom, you're in Disneyland in 1965. And then you
Dang.
go, "Give me a tennis court." Tennis court right there. And then you go, and and then there are people in the universe that specialize in making those programs.
Mhm.
So make me a jazz club in Las Vegas, and then there's a whole plot line involving that club,
Yeah.
that place in DS9. But yeah, it's just but yeah, there are people in the universe that specialize in making those programs. So AI is just, I guess in my opinion, just the proto version of that.
Yeah. So I'm just curious, why Star Trek instead of Star Wars for you?
Well, I enjoy them both, to a certain degree. Like Return of the Jedi is probably my favorite of all the Star Wars films.
Is that
That was
number
number 6.
number 6? Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So, but yeah, the first 3 films I saw them over and over again a lot
Mhm.
of times. I even had a Star Wars magazine subscription at one point.
Dang.
Because I had no friends. But I would say Star Trek, I think, has a lot more ideas in it in terms
Mhm.
of like philosophy
Mhm.
and ways to look at life, and it's a very optimistic look at the future.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you like the newer Star Trek films?
I have seen Prodigy. I have seen Strange New Worlds. Those are the 2 shows.
Mhm.
They're on Paramount Plus. I haven't seen I saw the first season of Picard. I haven't seen the others yet.
Mhm.
And then there's like some that try to be a little more on the darker side. I'm like, Strange New Worlds I do really like. That's very much leans back into like the original series. And so that one's a lot of fun.
Is that scary looking dude with all the wrinkles and the big ears or something? Is he on all of them? The Klingon.
Well, you said big ears, so that tells me Ferengi.
Okay. I don't know. He always creeped me out. Like, that's the biggest reason I never watched Star Trek
Okay.
is because of him. Like, he is a Klingon, correct?
Well, so
Uh-oh.
there's the tall dude in the
Mhm.
yellow uniform and like a sash across him,
Okay.
and he did have the forehead. That's Worf from the Next Generation.
Okay.
In Deep Space Nine, there's like this gremlin-looking character with huge ears.
Mhm.
That's a Ferengi. So
Okay. So,
you're gonna have to be a little more specific.
yeah, I'm just thinking growing up in like the 90s,
Okay.
what Star Trek was
That
that?
would have been DS9.
Okay.
So that would have been Quark. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you had to tell me to watch one Star Trek movie, TV show, whatever, just to get into the series, which one would you recommend?
Okay. Do you want more action or philosophy? Because I got to know about you before I can give you a recommendation.
I think I like philosophy better, but I am interested in the action one too.
Okay. Political or not?
Non-political.
Non-political. Okay. So for more philosophy-based, a little bit of action. So probably. So there's the original 6 films
Mhm.
that are all about Captain Kirk.
Mhm.
Then there's 4 films with Captain Picard,
Okay.
and then there's the 3 more recent ones with Chris Pine, who's also playing Captain Kirk. But that's a different timeline and shenanigans.
Mhm.
So out of the original 6 films, the first one is my personal favorite, which is the motion picture. a lot of people like to call it the slow motion picture because it's very much like 2001. It's very slow. The second one, Wrath of Khan, is a very action, straight up revenge film. Third one, Search for Spock. That one has a little bit more philosophy stuff. It's not the greatest execution of it, but you do get to see Christopher Lloyd play a Klingon. The fourth one, The Voyage Home, that's the one that I first saw as a kid. That one's basically a comedy. But it still has, but it has like an environmental message to it, but it doesn't beat you over the head with it.
Okay.
So that one's a lot of fun. The fifth one's about finding God, and it's not the greatest, but it's interesting. Yeah. The sixth one is basically like it's called The Undiscovered Country, and that one's like a political based one, but it's the politics of the Klingon Empire. So. And then there's Generations. That's basically the passing of the torch between Kirk to Picard, which involves some time travel shenanigans. Then there's First Contact. That's probably the most straight up action of all the films I've mentioned up so far. Insurrection. That one also has to do with a lot of political stuff. Nemesis. That one's also kind of leaning into the more action kind of stuff. And then you've got the more recent films of Star Trek 2009, Into Darkness, and then Beyond. Beyond is the most MCU of the bunch. Then the 09 one, I'd say, has a pretty fair balance between action and philosophy. And then Into Darkness was all right.
Is it safe to say that if you were asked to film or be on set in a Star Trek, you would jump on it?
Of course.
Would you move for it?
I guess it depends for how long, because we all know that any film isn't going to be forever.
Yeah.
So, if they say, hey, we need you in London for 6 months to go shoot a Star Trek film, like, okay. Then I just, I just go do that, then come back home afterwards.
Okay. So let me back up real quick. What project have you been paid for the most? Like, what was the most you got paid for a single project?
So the biggest film I ever worked on was a film called Race 3. Okay. Which is a Bollywood action film.
Bollywood?
Yep. It's a Bollywood action film. I spent a month in the United Arab Emirates working on it.
What was it?
The United Arab Emirates. It's Dubai.
Oh, dang. So you were in Dubai?
That's where the plane landed. We spent most of our time in Abu Dhabi, which is just down the road.
Dang. So you really have been everywhere.
Yeah, I haven't been to the Southern Hemisphere. I've been around the world, but I've not been to the Southern Hemisphere. For the South, I've been to Singapore. Okay. Still,
I mean, that's more than what I've been to. Out of every project that you've done, well, actually, first, let me ask you, how much did you get paid for that?
It's still relatively low in terms of like American standards. I think I was paid like $250 a day or so. And I was the second AC, or I was the first AC on the drone unit. So we weren't working every day, but we were still on call. But that was the first and only project where I've gotten a per diem. And so that's an extra $50 a day in just free cash.
Yeah.
And
you don't need it.
No. And so I had one day off, so I got to go to Ferrari World and try the world's fastest roller coaster.
That sounds fun.
Yeah. So that was a lot of fun. There's strict height and weight requirements for those.
Yeah, because you're a pretty tall dude.
Yeah, if I was 2 inches taller, I wouldn't be allowed to go on it.
Dang. When we went to Greece, I wasn't allowed on the horses over there.
Yeah. For that makes sense. Yeah, I would need to lose about 100 pounds if I need to go ride horses again.
Yeah, I haven't got to ride one yet. One day I will. That's always been my dream.
Yeah,
probably like a Clydesdale or something. Something crazy.
Or we're here in Fort Worth. Just go ride a bull.
That's true.
Yeah, just go down to Cowtown Coliseum and go say you're a bull rider now,
and watch me end up dead.
You only got to hold on for 8 seconds. How hard could that possibly be?
Yeah, no kidding. Okay, so out of everything you've done film, you've done acting, you've done like all kinds of crazy stuff. What has been your craziest moment that you had, if you had to pick one thing?
Just one?
Just one, or your top 3. We can do it like that.
Okay. Craziest. Okay, so when I was in college, I made a short film called Outsorcery. That film got accepted into San Diego Comic-Con International Film Festival. So I got all of Comic-Con that year for free. I just had to work for about half an hour. So that was fantastic.
Do you dress up for Comic-Con?
Of course. I thought it was mandatory.
But what do you dress up as?
I had a Prince Zuko season 3 costume.
Don't tell me. Is that Avatar.
Yeah, Last
Yeah,
Airbender.
yeah.
Yeah,
He's the red guy, right? The Fire
yeah,
Nation.
yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
yeah. I had a Prince Zuko costume. Yeah, that was great. He was my favorite character at the time.
Yeah, a friend of mine. I don't know if you know him, Kevin Lee.
Hmm.
He is super into cosplay. Like he makes all his own costumes, like just 3D printing them. Like they look crazy.
Yeah.
Do you do anything to that extent or no?
No, 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 no. It was, at the time, my girlfriend at the time made her mom made the outfit for me. So,
Mm,
but anyways, let's see. Number two crazy thing. Let's see. I did volunteer sometime at the Mole Richardson Soundstage in LA,
hmm.
and there was a event that the AFI was doing. That's the American Film Institute, and then I got to do a project with Dean Cundy, um, which he is the cinematographer for Jurassic Park and The Thing, and he also did Roger Rabbit, and so
Dang.
fantastic gentleman. Um, and then he gave us like the inside scoop on The Thing,
But which is what?
of who the alien is at the end.
I haven't watched it yet.
Ooh, very good film. So
Okay, it's an older film. It's like
it's
what
80s.
eight? Yeah, I was gonna say
Yeah,
80s.
yeah, Kurt Russell.
Okay,
Yeah,
I have to look it up then.
yeah.
Is it a scary movie or is
Oh
it
yeah.
okay? Oh man, you gonna do that too? I hate scary movies. But yeah, I'll watch it.
It's like about as scary as Alien.
Alien's not that scary.
Oh, then you'll be fine with The Thing.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Third craziest thing.
Okay. So so me being the kind of person who's just desperate to get anyone's attention or approval, I originally there was this one no budget project that I found on Craigslist that uh that I originally applied to it as like a camera operator,
Hmm.
and then the guy said, "Oh, do you want to act in this film?" I'm like, "Okay, sure."
That was so random. Like, do you want to act in this film?
Yeah. And I'm like, okay. And then he said, "Do you want to do stunts?" and I sort of felt like weirdly pressured into it.
Hmm.
And I'm like, "What kind of stunt are we doing?" So my character is supposed to be blind, and I am sitting on the roof of a car while it's moving down an alleyway.
Why?
Uh, And then the other character in the film, it's a sketch. He's also supposed to be blind. The idea being that I'm using a cane and telling the driver to move it slightly left or slightly right.
Okay.
And so the whole time I'm doing it, I'm like, this is the stupidest thing I've ever done. I
But
hope I don't get injured.
were you actually sitting on top of the
I
car?
was actually sitting on top of a moving vehicle without any kind of stunt training. There was no
Wow.
safety equipment. It was by far the stupidest thing I've ever done in terms of film.
How old were you during that?
Oh, I was early 20s.
That is crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, I was shortly out of college, and I'm just trying to get my hands on any project I possibly can. So
I give it to you. You were far crazier than I am.
well, my philosophy has always been if I'm available, I'm there. And like even
Okay.
if I'm not getting paid, I'm like, I'll go do it because I'm gaining experience, I'm making
Hmm.
new contacts. That's kind of it. It's like it's either that or stay at home and sit on my hands. I'm like,
That's true.
what am I gonna do?
I got you. Yeah. I mean, that makes sense to me.
Yeah.
When you walked into the studio,
Mhm.
you started looking at all the people. Excuse me. You started looking at all the people, and you
Yes.
saw a few that you knew.
Yes.
Tell me one of those stories.
So Snoop Dogg, I met him once. I was working on a reality show. I don't remember what it was called, but basically the whole thing was just so that this guy could propose to his girlfriend at the end.
Hmm.
And no, actually, no, it was called the Beverly Trillbillies. That's what it was called. The
Was Bun B a part of this? He had to have been.
No.
Okay.
It was called the Beverly Trillbillies. I don't think it ever went anywhere.
Mhm.
But it was, trill. If I'm remembering Urban Dictionary right, it's like it's a contraction between truth and real.
Okay.
And so you've got these people just just living their life or whatever, and then so one of the persons on the show wants to be a hip hop artist, so we go down to Snoop Dogg's recording studio
Mhm.
in I think it's in Irvine, somewhere around there, down there in Southern California. And so got to go to the inside of his studio, and it is amazing. Each of the sound recording booths has like a different theme to it.
Mhm.
Like one of them's like the bridge of a battleship.
Oh,
Another
wow.
one looks like a spaceship. He does have another small booth dedicated to the Steelers. And then there's a huge he's a huge sci-fi nerd himself.
Didn't know that.
Yeah, there's a huge mural of like Star Trek and Star Wars, and then he also has a whole lot of posters of old blaxploitation films.
Mhm.
And then apparently every now and then, he and his buddies will get in their Crown Vics and do a drive-in movie theater to watch Superfly on the on the
Man.
wall out there.
But was that the one that he was in?
I'm talking about the original.
Oh, the original.
Yeah.
Okay. Dang. Did you get to meet Snoop Dogg? Like, did you get to hang out with him?
Very briefly. It's just like, hey, Mr. Snoop, we have you in here. So kind of.
Did you get high with him?
I did not. No, that would not be professional.
That's what I'm saying.
Yep.
So, yeah. Anyway.
But if I could say a fourth crazy thing
Mhm.
is the one really good job I had in Oregon was I was a camera operator for the Farewell Music Festival,
Mhm.
which is fantastic because I'm getting paid $600 a day to be a camera operator for this for a music festival.
Mhm.
I have the best seat in the house. I have the camera on the stage pointed right at Willie Nelson. Yeah. Yeah, it was a 3-day long music festival. Each person's only has like an hour-long set.
Mhm.
Sheryl Crow was also there. Some huge names in country.
I feel like you've met more people than me now.
Well, when I'm an intern for Conan O'Brien, there's a new star every day.
That's true.
Like when I was in Conan, over the course of 1 week, Alice Cooper was there
Mhm.
and Mel Brooks.
Hmm.
They were there in the same week.
Dang. Is there anyone that you haven't met that you would want to meet?
Weird Al Yankovic, probably.
Really, him? That's funny.
Well, my dad raised me on his music, so
Gotcha.
and then my brother has a podcast all about Weird Al music. So
I've only heard one of his songs that I know of for sure. Is he the one that sung the White and Nerdy?
yes,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
him.
So that's the main one I know about him.
Okay,
But yeah, that's funny.
We have all of his records.
He has records. I did not know that.
He started out in the late 70s, his first single was 1979.
No, really?
Yeah, he's that old. So
I didn't know it. I thought he was like, just like some young dude who did like parodies and stuff.
no, he's an old dude that's done parodies.
Wow. Crazy. I did not know that.
Yeah, so he's got he's parodied Michael Jackson a couple times. I've seen him live like four times, I think now.
Mhm.
So yeah, his live shows are fantastic. So I'd say he's probably top of my list of people I want to. And of course, Spielberg. I got to meet Spielberg
Yeah.
because I own a lot of his films on DVD.
So, Richard, how can people find you?
Well, they can find me easy enough on Facebook, Richard Duryea, or they can find me on Instagram at Richard_Duryea.
Okay. If you had to give one piece of advice to people who want to get into the film industry, what would that be?
Major in business.
Why?
Because I guess a lot of people don't realize that filmmaking is a business. It's more of a business than it is an art form, I would say. I've met a lot of very talented cinematographers that have had to leave the industry and go do something else because they don't know how to manage a business.
Mm-hmm.
So I've learned far more about cinematography from YouTube than I ever did in college. So I would say I would say strongly consider just going to your local community college and get a major in business. I met a guy about a year ago. He was one of the producers on VH1 show Cheaters. Anyways, so that was a big hit back then.
Mm-hmm.
Now he said he's going back to college to get his MBA.
I think I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
What's his name?
I'd have to go through my phone to double check, but anyways, so I would say you don't need like I have 2 degrees. One's in cinematography, the other one's in creative writing.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely don't need my creative writing degree. There was not a single discussion in that department on what you can do with the job. There was not a single discussion on how to even get a book published. So there's also, for every honest businessman I've met,
Mm-hmm.
there's 30 fakes.
Yeah.
which is unfortunate. So, so knowing the business side of it, I think will definitely set people apart. Owning your own equipment. The most successful cinematographers I know own their own cameras. Like there was a number of if I'm a producer on an indie project and saying, hey, I've got 2 cinematographers, they both have great reels. One guy owns a camera, the other one does not. They're going to go with the one who owns one.
I've never understood, how can you do all this and not own the camera, the equipment? Like, I don't get that.
It's just finances at that point. You know, for some people, it's just a lot easier to drop 30 grand on a camera than anything else. So, and that's just a risk that some people have to take on. And I would also say, for young people, definitely look into artificial intelligence because that's not going away. So even if the government says you can't do it, China's going to.
And they are.
And they are.
They're raising little kids on it right now.
There's China actually, they've made more money in vertical content this last year than they did in traditional. So
that's something to think about for sure.
So yeah. And I guess one other piece of wisdom or advice. If you have to, give up film or whatever, you're not a failure. Okay? Life has taken you in a different direction. I thought of myself as a failure when I had to leave Los Angeles. Now I'm making more money in 2 weeks than I did in a year. And that's and it's not doing anything that I originally anticipated or expected. It wasn't even anywhere near on my radar. So, yeah, it's, if things get down and hard, don't think of yourself as a failure.
Great advice, especially the business one too, because a lot of people, they're creatives in this field. Everyone is a creative for the most part. And a lot of us don't take the time to learn the business part of it. So we get taken advantage of.
Yep.
So I highly agree with that one right there. Like, definitely learn business. If I could go back and redo it, I would definitely learn business.
Yep.
But Richard, I appreciate you taking the time to come out.
Well, thank you very much for having me.
This was a great conversation. I feel like we could just keep on talking even longer, but we're already over an hour already.
Oh, darn.
Yeah. Told you, go by quick.
All right.
But yeah, thank you for coming out, and hopefully we can have you back again in the future.
All right. Well, thank you very much.